Oh, happy Saturday, guys, and welcome in to the stream. For the next hour, we are going to be placing a bunch of bets on college football and the NHL. We'll also take a peek at maybe some player props for the NFL tomorrow. But it's going to be a very heavy, dominated college football Saturday. We have three amazing matchups on the docket. Coming up here in about an hour, we have Illinois, Ohio State. We got Alabama, Missouri, and then a little bit later on later this afternoon, we're going to have a great matchup with Oregon and Indiana. Also, can't forget about Michigan, USC, and then the late night slate, my Sun Devils, Arizona State taking on Utah. Very excited about that. So welcome into the stream, guys. We're going to start off with some DFS first. Look to give you some slips for PrizePicks and Underdog and Better, Dabble. And then we'll look to jump over into some arbitrage, some sharp money, and then positive EV as well. So a lot to jump into right now. Kind of a quieter Friday yesterday, but today is a full docket. We're also going to be looking at a lot of NHL games going on today. Anytime goal scorers is a market that I've been focusing on a lot. We'll look at some player shots on goal as well. Ton of NHL games going on. So college football and NHL dominant Saturday, no doubt. Irish, good morning to you, my friend. Jackie, what's going on? Need an NFL pick six. Jackie, I got you, but we're going to be really focused on college football today, Jackie. Sundays, we got NFL tomorrow, pick six. We got college football today. And we'll take a look to see what the best plays are on DraftKings pick six. But it's a college football Saturday at the moment. We'll see what we got going on. Let me generate everything once more, reset, because those were a little stale plays. All right, so here's a 5-pick slip over here on PrizePicks. If you guys are looking to hit this up, this is a little bit UFC. We do have UFC fights this afternoon as well, or later this evening, depending on where you're at. And we have like basically a 5-pick entry here, which, you guys know I'm kind of retired from playing the 5 and 6-pick entries. But we have a 3-pick slip right below. Now, the problem is I don't like this Hartenstein AD play. As I mentioned plenty of times before, I'm not messing around with any NBA preseason. Yeah, great, Dom. I got to check that out. Pitt spread. I'll take a look. No problem, Jack. Listen, Jack, I don't mean to shut you down right away. Like if it's out there, we'll look at it. But, tomorrow is going to be an NFL-only, basically, stream. We're focused only tomorrow on the NFL. Today, I really try to give my flowers to college football. Obviously, we'll take a look at some other things, but it just depends on what's going on in the schedule. So we'll take a look. But appreciate you guys tuning in, stopping by. As we are, what's today? Today's the 11th. We're 10 days away from the NBA getting started, which I can't wait. So we have just one more full week that we have to get through. And then we start to hit that really awesome part of the sports betting season when we have college football and the NFL going on. We kind of get that, the equinox, the sports equinox is coming. It's going to be here pretty soon. 3-pick entry over here on PrizePicks. Again, if you guys aren't looking to play these NBA plays, I would stick to this Oliveira play, and then we'll look to see what else the DGFAI slip generator has. This is a different 6-pick entry that's just mostly NFL, NHL, and college football related. So there we go. Test this out. Tigers with an incredible win last night, 3-2, 15 innings. I'm sorry, not the Tigers, the Mariners. The Mariners with an incredible win, 3-2, and they turn around. They only get, that's the tough part for Seattle. They get today off and have to travel and play Toronto tomorrow. So we might be able to take a little sneak peek, too, looking ahead. We also have, I totally also forgot, it's Game 5 tonight for the Cubs and the Brewers division series. So we might be able to find a player or two in that for a player prop for the Cubs and the Brewers divisional series as the NLCS starts on Monday with the Dodgers taking on either Milwaukee or Chicago. So baseball, we're getting into the final four, if you will, of baseball. And should be a good game tonight, though, in Milwaukee. Looking forward to that one, no doubt. All right, 6-pick entry over here on Rebet. This is a Rebet-specific parlay, guys. So if you see Rebet off to the side here, you don't see Prop City, then you have to have Rebet Sportsbook in order to cook this slip up. Rebet, while they offer a lot of great value at player props, these are their own lines that they have kind of created. The Arkansas plus 14, so this is a Rebet only slip. We got some other entries down here below. So let me show for my Dabble users. This is a 3-pick slip over on Dabble. And then if I can sneak this bad boy down here, this is a 2-pick flip parlay. Can I get that? Yeah, we can get this. Awesome. So 3-pick Dabble entry up top, 2-pick flip entry down below. The flip entry is just below 3% EV. I would actually still dip my toes into this. I would play this. So this Dabble entry, while it's a 3-pick parlay, guys, I put a quarter of a unit on this play. For the flip parlay, again, I would put roughly the same, quarter of a unit. Even though it's one leg less, the EV percentage isn't as high. So I would just go a little bit less when it comes to this. Rick, what's going on? Definitely need basketball. No doubt about that. Daniel, what's going on, man? UK always there. Appreciate you, Daniel. Yeah, good to have you back, man. Hopefully the summer's treated you well. And we're getting ready into fall. And, you know, I will say this just because Daniel's located in the UK and I've kind of forgotten, like, so far this season for football, and I'm talking, you know, English, European football, we haven't seen much. I remember in years past just seeing a lot, for at least for first half. I have to take a look because I love betting EPL, La Liga, Bundesliga. Haven't seen much, especially over at FanDuel. That's actually something I've just kind of completely forgotten about, guys, to be honest. And I haven't really shared any soccer plays. Oh, man, it's since last season, and they're in full swing, so I'm not sure. I got to take a look at my settings to see what I'm not seeing over there because I've talked so many times about how Pinnacle is really great for soccer. Also, can be sportsbooks for soccer player props, very sharp for soccer player props, and just haven't seen much. Got to take a look over there. All right, let's jump into the optimizer over here on OddsJam. And I just happened to be clicked. I was on Better earlier. So again, we don't have any minimum data points set up. Minimum data points means, guys, how many sports books of their odds do you want to see? So how many other books do you want to see out here? So we don't have anything. So if I set this up for 2, right, which isn't a lot, we just need 2 other sports books odds. Then like this list gets really slim. We had about 4 or 5 plays that we could rock on Better. Now we have just one green slip with Marcus Pedersen Peterson, I think it's Pedersen, over 1.5 block shots, right? We got ESPN, Bovada, and MGM. So we have 3 other books. So this is how we can compare, is this play any good to Better, right? But outside of that, if we clear this, right, we take this back to 0. If you guys want some of these UFC plays, you're going to see that BetOnline offers a significant strikes. Now, you guys know how I feel about UFC with BetOnline. I think they're very sharp. So I'm in on all day on these ones, no doubt. Take some unders here on Oliveira, take some here on Lacerda. I'm cool with that. And then we have a golf play, which I don't know how confident I am in this, but DraftKings has this at 3.5. We're getting this at 4. Well, whatever. This golf play is a whatever play for me. Not very excited about that. Same with the Pedersen play. Now, Anthony Woods, I can't play collegiate player props out here in Arizona. Again, Fliff is offering this at -145. If you think Fliff is very sharp on college player props, then I would say Bettor's the play. If you're like me, I really don't know what to think here for these 3 plays, so I just don't want to touch them at all. So I'd love to make a 5-pick slip over here if I can get something going here. Again, with Jared Goff, why would I go bet his passing attempts on Better when I could just go bet this on DraftKings or FanDuel and get a much better price? So I don't like this Goff play at all. While it looks very good to Pinnacle, I do put some respect on FanDuel, so I don't like this at all. Tyler Warren, different story. FanDuel's at -144. Pinnacle's at -146. The over 4.5 catches. That would be my 3rd play on the slip. But once we get to this yellow area, guys, for the most part, we're really scraping the bottom of the barrel here and trying to find something. So under on receiving yards for Judkins, receiving yards is going to be a wider distribution, but to be able to get this at 11.5 could be the difference between winning and losing. If he hits 9 or if he hits 10 or 11, that extra couple yards could be a big deal. You know, it might not. He might end up with like 19. And it wasn't even close. But I could get behind the Judkins play as my 4th play. Mason McTavish would probably be my 5th play. All right, so I'm going to cook this up. Bear with me here, guys. This is going to take just a minute. But this is going to be a 5-pick entry with insurance. Again, I'm going to put probably 1/10 of a unit on this play because like I'm kind of scraping by here. So we got McTavish. Cool. We're going to go with Judkins. We do have a London game also tomorrow, guys, in the NFL. Don't forget about that, which living out here on the West Coast doesn't always, it kind of stinks. I'll probably come in late in the second half and see what's going on. I'll miss probably the first quarter, maybe a little bit more. We're taking Warren over 4.5 catches. Judkins, so McTavish over on a point for the Ducks. Warren over 4.5 catches. Judkins under 11.5 receiving yards. And then we got two different UFC fights, two different UFC plays here. Oliveira, Simone under 25.5 significant strikes. And then we're looking at Lacerda. And again, we're looking at his under 35.5 significant strikes. Oh, so these two are going against each other. So that's why I can't do one or the other. Then I guess I'm keeping Oliveira. So now this sucks even more because I didn't realize these two were actually... Yeah, I should have saw it right here. Apologies, guys. I'm literally an idiot right now. They're fighting against each other, so we can't take both on unders. So then I got to dig deeper to find something else. And I don't like taking the over on McTavish and Cutter Gauthier under on his points. I don't like that at all. Drake London. Yeah, I'll get behind the Drake London play. Take over on his receiving yards. Especially if Kyle Pitts isn't playing. If there's some injuries there, I can get behind that. All right, we're taking Drake London instead. So pick which one UFC fighter that you like more in that play. You're not going to offend me if you like Lacerda more than Oliveira. We're going to take the Drake London over on his receiving yards. And again, I'm going to take the insurance on this play. And I'll share this link with you guys. It took a minute, but we got it. Okay, let's go over to PrizePicks. Let's look at the 3-pick entries here on PrizePicks. We got anything? Got some different stuff. We're going to remove the fantasy scores. Okay, guys, here is that 5-pick. There we go. What's going on, Turn Up? Anton, what's going on? Strictly arbitrage right now. Got two other programs, OddsJam. One has a lot of e-soccer. There you go. Nice to hear that, brother. Nice to hear that. Yeah, Turnip, we're going to be getting into that here in just a second. I kind of want to move along a little bit quicker than the pace that I'm going at right now when it comes to the DFS because I want to get into some college football plays. I want to look at some anytime goal scores. I want to look at Cubs Brewers divisional series plays, shots on goal. Appreciate you sharing those, though. Filipino, Elias Lindholm, Carl Palmieri, all over 1.5 shots on goal. Would you say, Turn Up, that is FanDuel, where you're betting those? What book, if you don't mind sharing, for anyone out there that's looking? We can do is we can, happy. We'll definitely take a look at that right now and do a little spot check here, too, to see what we have going on. Yeah, we got to get at least, let's put 3 on here. Okay, 3 minimum data points is a bit better. Johnson under receiving yards, 28.5 compared to FanDuel's 20.5. I can get behind that. That's okay. Castellanos under on his receiving yards. We also got to take a look at this Pitt, Florida State sharp money line. It's might have moved, but we'll see. Yeah, I'm okay with both these plays. If you can play collegiate props, I'm cool with that. And then minus 140, I'm also good with this. So I'm okay for a 3-pick slip, guys, on Underdog. These top 3 plays, Johnson in the Bowling Green Toledo game, under receiving yards, under rushing yards for Castellanos, FSU Pitt, and then Gamrot, however you say this dude's name, over 3.5 takedowns. Appreciate that, Turnip. Appreciate that. All right, so while you guys are taking a look at that, I'm going to pull this arbitrage tool off to the side, and I'm just going to take a spot check on my own over here, just so that we can kind of, a little efficiency on the stream here. We'll take a look at some shots on goal. I'll first take a look at that Palmieri. Okay, player shots on goal, just kind of spot check and turn up. I'm sure he's probably right. So Yes, the over 1.5 looks very good. Let me remove the VIG for a second here. It's so if we're removing the VIG from Pinnacle, this play on, and that's kind of the confusing thing here is it's EV, but it's very low EV edge play. So removing the VIG from Pinnacle's line makes the fair value minus 165, which means we can get this at minus 164 for Kyle Palmieri, over 1.5 shots on goal on FanDuel. So very slim edge. When you start to deal with those heavy favorites, we got to have a really large gap. And even though it's 36 cents in gap, it is a small EV edge play. So the Palmieri play is okay. I'd put about 1/4 of a unit on that play. You're talking about Lindholm. All right, and let's take a look at, let's go over to DraftKings Pick 6 for anyone that's looking for some Pick 6 entries. I don't want NBA, so I'm going to select everything but NBA. And yeah, at the moment, so for any of you guys that were also just looking for NFL plays, I know that Jackie, you asked earlier, like where the top play for the NFL was Puka, and it's only 8 cents of difference, which is tough. So it's not really ideal. Not ideal. Lindholm, yeah, I wouldn't know. The Lindholm play is an EV, unfortunately. It's a good price to Pinnacle, but the fair value on Pinnacle's minus 168. The Lindholm play on FanDuel's minus 182. So it's actually a negative EV play for Lindholm. So the Palmieri play has a small bit of edge. I'd say the Palmieri play, if we use the EV tool, has less than a 1% edge, maybe a 0.5 percentage, 0.75% of EV at most. The Lindholm play is not EV though, unfortunately. It's a good price, but it's not a large enough gap. And then we're looking at what you said, Filipino. I can't remember for the life of me. Oh, he plays for the Rangers. That's right. I couldn't remember who he played for. I don't mean to brag, but I got to brag because the Rangers were on the screen right now. I got to brag right now. I mean, Penguins 2-0. Penguins probably going to go 82-0 this year, guys. Just want you guys to know that. Just kind of letting you know. Pens beat both New York teams. Now we got to play the Rangers again. We're most likely going to go 82-0. So first place in the division, not a big deal. 2 games in the season. I don't expect my Penguins to do much this year, so I got to get my my jokes in while I can. All right, let's look at today. Really? We got one play? It's not even that good? We can look at some player props, obviously, for today, because we might see some NHL plays. I got to see what I'm doing wrong, why I'm not seeing that. Maybe that Pitt game might have left. All right, so for Filipino, or where's it at, dude? Unless he changed teams? Oh, he's on the Canucks this year. He's over on the Canucks now. I'm not caught up on the NHL moves. So he's in Vancouver. They're taking on the Oilers. Okay, let's take a look at this. Fair's 157. And yeah, so the Hedo play has the most EV. It's not much. It's probably maybe a 1. It's your best recommendation, no doubt. For those of you guys who are just, I'm going through some of these hockey plays that obviously turn up this is how you can kind of quickly figure out if you know this, if you believe in a certain sports book. So we're looking at Filipino right here, right? And these are the regular odds. So these look fairly good, right? You're like, man, minus 154 on FanDuel. Obviously, the minus 122 is a dabble play. So if you can get this on dabble, play it on dabble. But okay. But I come up here to the top, and all I'm going to do is just click the show no vig odds. And then I'm just going to come back down to the play and say, all right, so Pinnacle's showing plus minus 157. So if we want to bet this over, we need odds higher than plus 157. If we want to bet this, or we want to bet the over, we need odds lower than minus 157. If we want to bet the under, we need odds higher than 157. So we need to beat 157. So when I take off the show no vig odds and I come back down to this play, I'm like, all right, well, this is minus 154. That's below minus 157. So there is a little bit of EV edge, right? So that's how you can kind of figure out. Now, if you wanted to also bring up an odds converter calculator, if you also wanted to bring up a Kelly calculator, another way that you could figure out if this is EV is you could say, all right, well, what's minus 157? 61.09. Okay, well, I got 61.09. I'm getting minus 154 odds, quarter Kelly. This is actually 3/4, less than 1% EV edge. So they're telling you to put 0.3% of 1% of a bankroll on this play. So this is how you can figure out, guys, right? The Heedle play, we're getting minus 154. The fair's 61.09 because that's what minus 157 is compared to Pinnacle. And that's how you can figure out how much to put on the play, right? Appreciate the recommendations, Turn Up. I would say this was the most EV play. The Palmieri play then probably has maybe a quarter of an EV percent, so less than 1% for sure. But I appreciate that, brother. Turn Up, I would not parlay those three. Now, maybe, if you walk, the only reason I'm okay with maybe the Heedle play. If you can get a boost on FanDuel, I can get behind that. But the Lindholm play is not EV at all. It's not EV at all. Now, if you watch a lot of Bruins games and you know that he's been firing the biscuit, his first, you know that the scheme's changing, he's going to shoot a lot. Okay, then if you have some insider information, I can get behind that. But if you're just strictly going off of odds, I would not play that Lindholm play. I would look to find another play. And we'll look for some plays here just coming up here in a second. And Bruins 2-0. Iowa money line on sharp money. So I got to find out where am I missing this? That's where I want to know. Where am I missing this at? What's going on here? Let's clear this out. Let's go to date range for today. Let's go to market as right here. Okay, and let's go to league. There we go. Thank you. Okay, so that's because I cleared out my I had to clear out my filters. So, okay, we're being recommended Pitt. What did I bet in this game? I bet Pitt plus 10.5 earlier in the week on Bet 105. Okay, so it's not Pitt money line's not exactly going against the grain here. I'm just going to be on Pitt more. Someone put up 13K on Pitt. Okay, and then someone put up 8,700 on the Panthers. So that means this better on ProfitX wants this Pitt's odds at plus 348. And remember, with ProfitX, they're paying like a 1% commission, so they're probably going to get this play at like plus 346. No vig, they want it at plus 344. So we can get this at plus 350 on FanDuel, right? So if I go over to FanDuel, and I don't log in, right? I'm not going to log in. Dismiss. Should have went back and did that again. Let's try that once more. All right, so we look at 350, right? What's the max wager size they're taking? I'm not logged in. $3,100, right? So $3,100 is the max wager size. So this is obviously a lot more money. So what I would do here, guys, we talked about this before. I want to just take a minute. For those of you that are new to sharp money or trying to figure out how to bet the sharp money tool, I'm fine with a little sprinkle here on Pitt. Okay, two reasons. Number one, this is a long shot underdog, so we want to be careful. We want to mitigate our risk, but I don't mind putting a quarter of a unit on this play. Or if you're looking to in this case, when we're using the sharp money tool, we want to think of what's 1 unit for us. What are we going to bet to make a unit? Okay, we want to bet to make 1 unit. So figure out what 1 unit is, which is typically 1% of your bankroll. Then with the sharp money tool, you want to have a multiplier in mind. So think of this as, okay, if Pinnacle's taking $5,000 limit on Pitt, right, then we want to go maybe, if it's a 2x or a 3x multiplier, maybe we make up to a half of a unit. If it's a 5x multiplier or higher, and in this case, it's like a 4.5x multiplier, right? 5 times 4 is 20K. 5 times 5 is 20K, 25K. So we're not at a 5x multiplier. Maybe we go a unit on this play, right? So these are just different things to think about. Also, guys, outside of Pinnacle, what you also want to remember is typically, I'm normally right on these, but I could be wrong. Bookmaker takes a larger wager size than Pinnacle does. Okay. So I'm just going to pull up Pitt in Florida State. And I want to see what Bookmaker's taking. So if Pinnacle's taking 5K, Bookmaker is taking 5K as well. Okay, so they're taking the same exact amount. They have Pitt money line at plus 334 for what it's worth. But again, between the two, they're taking the same exact amount of money. I'm totally fine with a little sprinkle. So I'm going to go over here and I'll sprinkle a Pitt money line play. I'm totally fine with that. Yeah, losing streak, no problem. Yeah, you don't want to just bet blindly. Like, I'm not going to bet Ohio State, Illinois. This sucks. What I mean, like so any of these plays here, okay, this Iowa play, this Toledo play, this Ohio State play, okay, if I come into this play and I look and I say, yo, Pinnacle's got Illinois plus 14.5 at minus 104, this would constitute as an EV play, okay? So I'm not going to bet this because the sharp money tool told me. But this is dangerously close. Like, you could see no other sportsbook has plus odds on Illinois plus 14.5. And 14 is a very important number. We're getting the hook here too, which is great. So this is a really nice number to be on, 14.5. I'd rather be on plus 14.5 than minus 14.5. Forget the team names. Just I'd rather be on the plus 14.5. But there's only one sportsbook offering plus odds here. So this isn't so much a sharp money play. This is just a positive EV play. Look at Bookmaker's odds. I like this. If we take the average blend between Pinnacle and Bookmaker, we're sitting at, maybe I'll lean Bookmaker's side, we're sitting at minus 108. So like, I can get behind this ESPN bet play, but not because it's on the sharp money tool, okay? This play with Bowling Green and Toledo, Pinnacle's taking $17,500. There's only $10,000 out here. Don't bet this play based off the sharp money tool. So all these plays, this play sucks based off the sharp money tool. This play sucks. This play sucks. That plays good because of the sharp money tool. This is double the amount, right? Louisiana, James Madison, 3,000 limit. We're getting 6,100. Pinnacle and Bookmaker, same odds range here. Okay, I like this play. This play sucks. I don't know what to think about this play. I'm just going to skip it. Skip this, skip this, skip this, skip this. Right. Like there's only like 2 or 3 plays on the sharp money tool that I'm like actually interested in. And so hopefully that provides a bit of a breakdown when it comes to the sharp money tool a little bit. You want to go after multipliers. What's Pinnacle's limit? Find a 2, 3, 4x multiplier of that limit-wise liquidity. Bet that play. So we'll go in for $50 here, right? I'll do a $50 spot here. Pitt money line. It's a long shot, guys. If you lose this play, don't throw your hands up and go, ha, the sharp money tool sucks. No, you just don't understand how odds work, because if we're getting this at plus 350 odds, it means we have a 22% chance. And we're probably getting this at like plus 330 odds, or 335 is the fair. So we still have less than a 25% chance of winning this bet. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Right? That's why I laugh at all my friends that bet plus 1,000 parlays and they're like, dude, I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. It's like, dude, because you're betting on parlays that have a 9% fair chance of winning. I mean, you're going to lose 91% of these, right? So, I mean, you just need to understand how odds work, guys, and the odds converter calculator can help put in perspective. You know, odds and win probability are always in a marriage together for life. It's the same thing. So just understand that. So we get back over this, right? Pit play. I'll throw this in the sharp money tool. Again, if you click the plus sign here, guys, on the sharp money tool, it's going to categorize it on your bet tracker as a sharp money play, which is really, really nice. But I do like, so you can see that ESPN bet play is already gone because it's ESPN. That was a very good play for ESPN bet just on its own. So now if we click, it's not that I'm just going to ignore the play. Like, I'll obviously click into this play because I don't like minus 3.5, but this could be just a very good price. But this is only 6 cents off to Pinnacle. And Pinnacle's taking more money on this play. So, big whoop. Not impressed. Alabama, Missouri, this is a 2x multiplier. Okay. And what I would say, guys, is when it comes to like mainline markets, I wouldn't expect to find the 5x multipliers out there like on Pitt Moneyline. But I'm okay with, if you could find a 2 or 3x multiplier for mainline markets, I'm good with that. Player props, I like to see like at least a 3x multiplier, if not higher. And again, that's just my prerogative. If you watch Alex on the stream, Alex probably has a completely different process. So just providing you a different spice, different flavor, so that you guys can something to chew on for those of you that are using this. But there is $8,000 out here on this under. Okay, on this under, Pinnacle's at plus 100 odds, and Bookmaker's at minus 110. So obviously this isn't all that great compared to Pinnacle. Pinnacle's taking 4K on this play. What's Bookmaker taking? Again, I've mentioned this, and I'll continue to mention this on the stream, guys, that even if you don't plan on ever placing a wager or depositing on Bookmaker, I would highly advise creating an account on their website so that you can get access to looking at their limits, even if, whatever it takes. So they're looking at $5,400 here. So they're taking $1,400 more in this Alabama-Missouri play than Pinnacle is. They're at minus 110. Bet openly's at plus 102. To be honest, I don't. It's okay. I can get behind a little bit of a sprinkle here with Bet Openly on this play. Again, guys, if you're not familiar with Bet Openly, it's fairly similar to Novig and ProfitX. You can't just create your own odds on this website, but it's a peer-to-peer sports book. I guess I have a couple bets over here. I'm out of money. But this is Bet Openly, right? We've talked about them before, how you can create your own survivor pools. They're really cool, right? So you just come over here to filter bets. I have some, dude, I don't want the casino. Get off my lawn with this. You come over here to filter bets, right? And what you can do is you just come over to college football. And then we're going to go over here to totals. Click apply. You're going to see that probably Alabama plays the top play right here, right? And you're going to see that it's at plus 104 odds. There's $51. You can click the arrow sign here, guys. You could also see the under 51 is at plus 110 for $70. If you wanted to bet something on Missouri, also you can come over here and click the same thing, and you're going to see some different odds, okay? But this is how you look at totals for different games. You could also just come up here and say, I don't know, maybe you want to look at Florida or Florida State. Say, hey, let's look at the Florida Gators, and then they're going to have plays here as well. So the only thing is you can create wagers over here on Bet Openly, but you're restricted on the odds that you can create these bets. So if you want to say bet here, you could do that, but it's a great book. I'm a big fan of it. If you want to create your own wager, props, wagers, whatever you want, you go to click games, and then you could say, all right, I want to do football. I want to do college football. I don't know, maybe you want to bet the Alabama game. Maybe you want to take Missouri plus 3. The problem here is, like I said, you can't really change the odds. These are the odds that you have to bet it at. Typically, the odds that you're receiving when you create a bet on Bet Openly, not very good. But you can also make parlays as well. We talked about creating your own parlays and becoming the house, which is really awesome. So take a look at that. All right, so I'm not going to bet this over here because I don't have any money in the account, but I do like this play. I'd put a half of a unit on that under. Let's see what else we got. Ken, good morning to you as well. Let me catch up to everyone in the chat. MLB FanDuel boost, no doubt about that. Appreciate that, Arb. Yeah, I forgot about that. New YouTube video that dropped yesterday talking about how to recover from your sports betting losses. No problem, AR. Appreciate that, man. Very appreciate you being very kind of the words. Again, if you guys don't, I can't even speak today. If you guys don't like the video, do like the video. Let me know what you do like, what you don't like. I'm very receptive and open to feedback, constructive criticism. Don't be afraid to keep it 100 and honest with me. So appreciate that, AR. But yeah, new video dropped. It's a longer video. Some of my most recent videos have been a bit longer, other than the video on the Sharp Money tool. They have been in like the 12 to 24 minute range. They're not always going to be like that, guys, but I wanted to mix in a couple longer form videos for those of you that are maybe interested in longer form, trying to get more detailed in the weeds, and just kind of provide some different ideas and strategies, right? So we might go over, for those of you that don't know, arbitrage is always going to be your best bet in terms of recovering from losses. That's one tip that I bring in the video, which we know, if you guys know the stream, OGs, DGens know this, arbitrage is just usually a great strategy in general. All right, let's look at the EV tool. Okay, so I had this teed up. Did I still have this teed up? I do. So currently, guys, we're going to look at some college football spreads, money lines, totals, because I have this already teed up and ready to go. Trying to, again, be efficient with our time. So we're looking at some college football plays. So Northern Iowa, South Dakota State. Not going to lie. Probably not a ton of interest in this game. But this game is in a couple of hours. And I'm just going to go and take a look real quick. These are not two big schools at all. This might be FCS. Northern Iowa. I'm just looking to see what the limit is over here on Bookmaker. Again, I have chosen to go with Bookmaker. There it is. Yeah, so I wouldn't bet this play, guys. It's a great price on DraftKings, okay? But Bookmaker's taking a max limit of $287.50. So again, you're going to find out that there's different limits on college football depending on who's playing, right? Monmouth, Towson, not a lot of money on that play. Alabama, Missouri, BYU, Arizona, more money on this play, right? Someone on Polymarket, which is similar to Kalshi, has $18,000. They like BYU. They like BYU a lot. And they want BYU at minus 127 odds. Remember, guys, you need to understand, and this is to be very honest, if you guys are new to the EV tool or new to sports betting, I'm using the Platinum plan. Again, guys, you want to use a 1-week free trial and then get 35% off your first month with OddsJam, use code Billy35, right? But here's one thing I will say. You need to understand these sports books, the Kalshis, the Polymarkets, the Bet Openlies, the ProfitX, the No Vigs. These are books that are exchanges where you can create your own bets. So something that I didn't have to deal with back in 2021 when I was looking on a college football Saturday, these exchanges weren't out there when I first started using OddsJam. I was just looking at FanDuel and DraftKings and MGM and Bet Rivers, right? It was easy because I knew that those were rec books. If you're new to sports betting, what you need to understand is someone out there wants $18,000 at minus 127 odds on BYU. So if I can get this at minus 124 odds, maybe on Prime Sports, maybe I'd want to do that. This is very likely an originator, a betting syndicate, some type of sharp bettor. It could be a rich dude who's an alum from BYU who's bored, but this is a lot of scared on. So I don't know how I feel about this one. I'm probably just not going to touch it, right? And I'm just going to move on from the Polymarket. So if you see the Polymarkets, look out. Or what I would just do is come over to the sports books. I would select all, and I would say, I don't want to see Polymarket, okay? I don't want to see Kalshi, right? I don't want to see the No Vigs, the ProfitXs. So it just depends. But there might be some plays where we'll go after these books, okay? So again, the Northern Iowa play, the Monmouth play, be careful. Stay away from those most likely, right? You're going to see some high liquidity numbers on these exchanges. You got to be aware that the Polymarkets of the world aren't the same as ESPN Bet. Okay, so ESPN Bet for Houston and Oklahoma State, this one's not very difficult to probably think about, right? Minus 113 on Bookmaker. It's very good to Circa. Pinnacle's not as bullish on this play. They're at minus 101. If I want to double check liquidity here just to see, and again, this is something that we've really been talking about a lot over the last month or so, is liquidity. Liquidity is so important because it talks about the confidence that the sportsbooks have in their odds, in their lines. The more money a sportsbook's taking on a play, the more confidence that they have in their odds, right? So we're looking at under 47.5. On Bookmaker, they're taking 5,500. Pinnacle's taking 3K. So if we take an average collective blend of Pinnacle, Bookmaker, and Circa, we're probably at maybe minus 108. I'm in on this play at ESPN Bet. This game starts very soon, guys. 22 minutes. I'm rushing over to ESPN Bet right now to log in to bet this. Now, to be fair, one thing I will say, 48's a very important number with football. 48's important. So I'm over here at ESPN Bet. Let me just double check this because, 47.5, I kind of want that under 48. I like that 48 a little bit more, right? So Bookmaker says this. ESPN Bet's not offering anything. Honestly, guys, I would be, I'm okay. If I look at Bookmaker, what are they? Can I get their other line here? They're under 48.5 at minus 131. What's their over 48.5? They're over 48.5 at 109. Okay. So I might get in trouble with this on YouTube, but it's very important for educational purposes. 48's a really important number. I can't stress that enough. So on Bookmaker, if you just come over here and click on this here, you can see their alternate lines. You can see that they're under 48.5 at minus 131. Can't see it because my head's in the way. Stay hot, Billy. And they're over 48.5 at plus 109. Okay, so if I pump this into a no vig fair odds calculator, because I kind of want that 48.5. If I pump this into a no vig fair odds calculator and I go, okay, minus 131 plus 109. Fair odds is 118. And all right, we're going to sprinkle this on ESPN Bet. I'll sprinkle this. 47 could be fine. 27-20 game, it can happen. But God darn it, if it goes 27-21 or 28-20 or 35-3, because Oklahoma State's not a good football team, I'm going to be upset. I'm going to be upset. And they already moved it to even odds. So I'm just not going to touch it now. Apologies, guys, for taking such a long time on that play. But this is kind of my thought process, right? Old school Billy would have just bet this if it was at plus 105. I pay a bit more attention to the number, or at least I try to. So Charlotte over here on Hard Rock, plus 17.5. This game starts very soon. This is an ARB to ESPN bet. It's an ARB to Pinnacle. This is a smash. But to be fair, Hard Rock's not a difficult sports book to make money on. But we're going to log in over here on Hard Rock, and we're going to hit this play up. I definitely like this. The plus 17.5 is a good side to be on. I'm totally cool with that. OddsJam's telling me to bet $150. I'm good with that. I'm definitely good with that. Rick says, yeah, no vig profit X scares me a lot. I'll remove them for the truth, but bet them if I had better odds, if it makes sense. Definitely makes sense. Definitely makes sense. Let's see what we got here. So we're looking at what? Charlotte. Main line's 19.5, which I'd rather just take. It's kind of a dead zone, guys, to be honest. 17.5 to 19.5 is kind of a dead zone. It could come into play, but I'd rather just take the 17.5. Not a huge difference, in my opinion, between plus 17.5 to plus 19.5. It changes when we get to plus 20.5. So I'm going to go, we'll just go with the 150 right now. Right? And this game starts in 20 minutes. So there we go. Okay. In on that play with Charlotte. I know that not everyone has access to Hard Rock. Only a few states has it, but it's important to me. If I see if you're out there and you have Hard Rock, go smash that. Toledo Bowling Green. If you see this, there might be a chance that there might be more over here. So Toledo, no, there isn't. It's just one play. It's Ballybet. This is where Pinnacle and Bookmaker have a disagreement. If I see that the liquidity over on Bookmaker is very similar, they just moved it to plus 100, so we're just going to move off that play. Yeah, I was going to say. Looking at some 9 a.m. games here really quick, guys. Oh, I forgot about this. I do like this Illinois play. We talked about this earlier. Give me back ESPN bet. Gimme. We want to get that plus 14.5. Not because the Sharp Money Tool recommended it, because it's just a good play. I think it's just a solid play in general. $110. And I know Ohio State might win by like 35, right? Because it's Ohio State. But I'm okay. I'm okay betting the plus 14.5, which again, 14.5 guys to 15.5, not much of a difference. And I got about 150. I'll just put a 150 spot on this. There we go. We're in. Illinois. Plus 105 odds at plus 14.5. I like that number. Again, plus 14.5, plus 17.5. Key numbers that you want to be on the side of. So Virginia Tech, Georgia Tech. Let's see what else we got here. Talked about Boston College plus 14 against Clemson. Let's see what Bookmaker's taking on this Boston College spread. They're taking $34,000. Get the out of here. Get the out of here. Are you shitting me? Okay, guys, this is why I use Bookmaker. And I'll show it again. Pinnacle's taking $5,000 on this spread. Boston College Clemson. Bookmaker's taking almost $34,000. They're taking almost $34,000 on this spread. That's insane. I got to go over to Ballybet and bet this right away. That's insane. That's not like a 3x multiplier. Compared to Pinnacle, that's a what? 6x? They're taking 6 times the amount of money that Pinnacle is. Use Bookmaker for point spreads. Holy shit. So I have way more confidence in Bookmaker's line than Pinnacle's line because they're taking way more money. It's not even close. It's not even close. If this stream gets pulled down in like a couple weeks because I get like a smack on the wrist from YouTube, they don't like me showing global sports books. But, I mean, that's insane. And, I mean, Ballybet's an easy sports book to make money on, but, like, still, we're going to go a 150 spot on Boston College. Again, plus 14, it's a good number to be on that side. So there we go. There we go. That's crazy. I bet a little bit more than what I should have, but it's only $30 more. Yeah, so Pinnacle's taking $5K, Bookmaker's taking $34,000. Appreciate that, Juan. Appreciate that. Yeah, Juan, I mean, it's kind of your own discretion in terms of how you want to treat boosts. It's in terms of, you know, what's your risk tolerance, right? What's your risk tolerance? Do you want to convert this into guaranteed cash, right? Do you want to add this or do you want to put these on long shots, right? Just if you want to bet these casually, you can bet them casually, right? Because if once you receive a boost that's over 50% profit boost, it's most likely just a really, really good play. Red River Rivalry is also going on today, guys, so there might be some boosts going on over there. I have not even checked the sports books to see what boosts going on, but there could be some stuff going on over there. Dev, if you're asking if it's Alex Monahan, do I know who Alex Monahan is? Yes. If it's Alex Monahan, then no. No, I don't know who Alex Monahan is. I know who Alex Monahan is. But yeah, he's a coworker, colleague. So you could technically say he's my boss. I would say that. That would probably be a better description is he's my boss. Virginia Tech, Georgia Tech, over 56.5. Again, if you guys don't have Ballybet or ESPN Bet, this is also quite good over at FanDuel. But this is where I like to check liquidity, right? So if it's 2K over here, again, guys, normally the books take more money on spreads than they do total points. Just a friendly reminder. If you guys find any value in the streams thus far, make sure to subscribe to the channel as we're pushing towards 10K. Over 56.5, Bookmaker's taking 5,200. So again, Pinnacle's taking 2K. Bookmaker's taking twice that amount. So this is kind of going against the grain of Pinnacle. Again, you can click into this on the gold plan, the platinum plan. You can see where the book's movement is. Yeah, Bookmaker's coming from a minus 110 to a minus 106. Okay. But again, you could, I'm all right betting this over on Virginia Tech, Georgia Tech. Totally fine with that. I still have, I think, a little bit of money left in Ballybet. Do I? 56.5 is kind of a key number here. Yeah, I got like $128. So I'll just put the remaining money that I have on this. And we can bet this here and just grab this. Again, guys, one other thing that you can do is like, this is something that you can think outside the box as well. If we're getting the over 56.5 at plus 110 odds, then this over and Bookmakers at minus 106 on the over, then getting this over 55 at minus 108 is going to be very EV to Bookmaker as well. And, you know, if this is a 35-20 game or a 36-20 game, you know, this is either going to be a push or a win compared to the over 56.5. So again, guys, when you're betting Canby Sportsbooks and we're using Bookmaker as our sharp, They're at minus 106 on the over 56.5. We get a 1.5 less and have to pay 2 extra cents a juice. I'm totally okay with that as well. Okay, you can do that as well, betting the over. There we go. So we're in on that for $125 at a slightly different price. So I can open up this event page, and that's just kind of a tip, guys, that you can definitely go and bet. You know, if bookmakers bullish on that, you could take the over 56.5, or you could just take the easier leg, which is the over 55, right? And it's still 9 cents off the Pinnacle, which I'm still fine with there. So 125. There we go. Bama Mizzou, Chris. Yeah, we were looking at the +3 earlier. We were looking at that. Yeah, I mean, Alex is the co-founder of OddsJam, so this is literally part of his creation. So yeah, I'm familiar with who he is. Yeah, as Irish said, as everyone else said. Yep. So there we go. What else do we got here? All right, so let's look at. All right, so those are kind of the 9 o'clock games. All right, so what do we got? We got some different boosts. People are asking for some different things. So let's first take a peek. Let's take a look at the MLB game, and then we'll jump in the NHL games. The MLB game today. We might get back to some college football. I'm so happy that we're just here. This time of the year is just such a great time to bet, guys. For those of you that were with me throughout the summer, appreciate you. We finally, okay, we're safe now. We're okay. We'll leave this off. We'll go to Pinnacle. Let's go to worst case. Let's look at leagues. Obviously, there's not going to be a lot going on here. Major League Baseball. We'll click off the alternate markets, and we're going to focus on today. Okay. Joey Ortiz, under on his player bases. This seems to be a good play on Props Builder, ESPN Bet, or Fanatics. Anytime that I see Fanatics pop up, guys, I'm in. So, to break this down for you guys, if you have access to all 3 of these sports books, and Fanatics literally just moved their odds, so literally go bet this on Props Builder. If you have an ESPN Bet account in Props Builder, you can bet Props Builder on like a bunch of different global sports books. ESPN Bet is a onesie sports book. Once you lose ESPN Bet, guys, for certain college football plays, you're not going to be able to get them back. So if you have access to both books, please bet this over at Props Builder. In terms of account health, this is the smart play. Don't bet this on ESPN, because once you get limited on ESPN Bet, guys, ESPN Bet offers certain odds to certain games that you can't get anywhere else. So, and that's not, the Props Builder, just go bet this over there. So I have, oh, that's right. I got some money over here on Bovada on my one book. I'm not going to be able to share my screen, but I'm just going to go over to Bovada. And I'm just going to go bet this right now for Ortiz on his under. Props Builder, guys, outside of Rebet, a lot of other global sports books, Bovada, BetOnline, Bookmaker, they all have Props Builder. Well, not Bookmaker, but Bovada, BetOnline, BetDSI, XBet, Bet Any Sports, or Bet Anything Now. They all have this. So I'm just going to go ahead and bet this over there. Over-under on total bases and Ortiz, plus 110 odds. They're telling me to bet $110. I'll round this up to 125, and we'll bet that under. There we go. So I'm going to throw this in on Props Builder. There we go. Joey Ortiz. Okay. I think it's a really good play. Summer was definitely a grind, man. Definitely safe, Arturo. Definitely safe. Okay, outside of that, Brewers minus 1.5. I like to look at playoff baseball similar to playoff hockey, guys. Being on the plus 1.5 side is a better place to be than the minus 1.5. And that's not because I'm a Cubs fan or a Brewers fan. It's just one-run ball games are going to happen all the time. This could be a 6-2 ball game. Okay? Could be 10-1. Could be 3-0. Last night, it was a one-run ball game. And one-run ball games seem to happen just a little bit more in the playoffs in general. Okay? Phillies-Dodgers, it was a one-run ball game. So, in a lot of these games in this Cubs-Brewers game, a couple, well, not a lot of these. The one thing I will say is also, I don't know if this is going to be a trend, but literally every first inning of every game of this series is bet the over 2.5 runs. First inning run, just bet over 2.5 runs for the first inning. Because if you'd bet that in every game so far in this series, you'd be a very, very, very rich man or woman. Because every first inning, there's at least 2 runs. It's insane how many runs start this thing out. One of the things, guys, that I've done for the last 3 games in this Cubs-Brewers game is after the first inning ends, I've live bet the unders, and I've won every bet. For games 2, 3, and 4, I live bet the unders after the first inning, and I made a lot of money. So it was a good time. Doesn't mean that that's going to happen, right? Past trends doesn't mean this, but it's just there's just something going on in that first inning. So if you are going to live bet this game, just wait until the first inning's over, and then start to look at some things. Some guys like to wait until the 3rd or 4th inning's over. I'm okay with getting into it around the 2nd inning. Not a ton. To be honest, I wasn't expecting a ton. Let's go outside of Odds Jam's DVig settings, Pinnacle's DVig settings. Let's look at Odds Jam. Wilson Contreras, this is parlay play. Hits, runs, RBIs compared to Bookmaker. I don't mind that. Average odds between BetOnline and Bookmaker. I can get between this. Yeah, I like that. Contreras over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. But there isn't a ton out there at the moment. One result was Circa. Brewers on the money line. Very low EV edge play. But Circa's the most bullish on the Brewers money line out of everybody. Okay. Or you can just wait, guys. If you don't see a lot, don't worry. Just wait. Appreciate that, Chris. Thanks, man. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, so let's go over to some anytime goal scores, and then we'll look at some anytime shots on goal for the NHL. Player goals is what I have. Right? We're looking at a -150, +250. You can take this higher than +250. You want to go to +350, +400? You can do that. I like this. This is, for me, a bet in +250. I'm betting probably some of the more popular goal scorers out there, but we can expand this if we wanted to like a +300. DVig settings, Pinnacle. I'm using additive. NHL, right? And then you can go to player goals. Scroll down. Bingo. Player goals. It's for today. Okay. What do we got? Tarasenko. Jackets Wild. This is, again, honestly, guys, for me, when you see this Tarasenko play, I would just bet this over at FanDuel. Okay. Here's why. Thinking about account health. How many of you guys get limited on Ballybet? But FanDuel, as we know, is our best friend. They're by our side through thick and thin. No matter what happens, FanDuel is there for us. So FanDuel's at +310, which guess what? This is still going to be a very EV play at +310 odds. And I know that my account health is going to go a lot longer with FanDuel, even if they limit me. So this is, again, another situation where, in my opinion, if you live where I live in Arizona, I have 3 different Canby sports books. So it's like, all right, dude, you could go burn one of these accounts. But I know I'm going to get limited really fast on Ballybet, so maybe I just go bet this on FanDuel. It's still very EV, and I'm still getting paid out really well, right? So these are just different things to think about, guys, when you're faced with an opportunity here. Instead of going after the highest EV play, maybe just go after FanDuel. No other sportsbooks offering odds like this, so I like this. Again, these are all long shot odds, guys. You can see about 9 hours ago, Pinnacle fell off a cliff, +327, +230. So I'm okay with this. Now, $250 as a limit isn't a lot of money, but what I will say is that I've been betting anytime goal scores for 2 years now with FanDuel, or using Pinnacle as my sharp. Similar to anytime touchdown scores, I've had some success. I shared a graphic yesterday. It's early, but we've had nice success, like a 9.5% ROI betting anytime goal scores. So we're looking at the promotions here. There's a 30% boost on FanDuel for Bustin' with the Boys. Indiana, Oregon, 50% boost. We'll have to take a look at that. Same with the Red River Rivalry. There's a 30% profit boost. So I bet you that we could put that Wilson Contreras. We could do that for Wilson Contreras. There's a 30% boost. for $10. Okay. I might just hold on to it right now. Did FanDuel remember that there's hockey games going on? Nope. Man, just shitting on the NHL. Unbelievable. Just absolutely shitting on the NHL. We got football, postseason baseball. Who cares? Who cares about the hockey games? Wow, man. And the NHL's all the way down here. Bro, FanDuel. Like they put the, like, dude, massive disrespect by FanDuel on the NHL. The NHL is literally in season, and they put this down where the NBA and college basketball is. These two sports aren't in season yet. Dude, just shitting on the NHL. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Tarasenko, he plays the Wild and the Blue Jackets. I think he's on Columbus this year. But I can't remember. Wow. What do we got here? Tarasenko, plus 310 odds. They're telling me about $130 on this play, but obviously I'm not going to bet that because we're not getting the odds like that. I'm going to go with a 75 spot here. Again, same idea, guys, with betting anytime home runs. These are longer shot plays. We're not going to hit on every single one of these. But if we can hit on one or two of these, we're going to have a really good time. OddsJam has a free bet tracker, guys. Check it out. I've been using it for 4 years. It's a great time. Evander Kane, Canucks, and the Oilers. Again, anything that's above plus 291 odds is going to be EV. So this is really a Bovada-only play. Oh, or a can be play. Excuse me. Bet Rivers, Desert Diamond, Ballybet. What you're going to notice is certain sportsbooks continuously offer great odds or markets. In this same game, dude, Kaprizov, yeah, I want to bet Kaprizov all day long, bro. Give this to me all day long. I'll go the 150 spot. I'm already on here on Kaprizov. Where's he at? Yeah, one of the best goal scorers in the league. Best player on the Wild, not even close. Give me Kaprizov. That's an easy one. Don't need to think about that. Kaprizov, plus 150. Okay, there we go. The Wild ended up scoring was it 5 goals in their first game against St. Louis? It was crazy. Yeah, losing streak. WNBA season's over, and I cannot be more ecstatic. I'm so happy that I don't have to look at WNBA lines anymore. I've always have had a tough time betting WNBA. It was a bit better this year. This was my best year, and I still hated it. Even though I think I made money, I still hated it. I just don't want to do it. Bankroll's at, I think my settings are at 15,000, Dev. So, yeah. Dorf, dude, this dude had a hat trick for the Knights in his first game of the season. I was watching that game against the Kings. So we got some Bovada plays over here, guys. I'm going to sneak on over here to my limited Bovada account. One thing I will say, guys, that if you do get limited on Bovada, your props builder is a completely separate tool. So you won't have limits on those. You won't be limited on your props builder on Bovada because it's completely separate. So I'm just going to place a couple of bets here on Evander Kane because these are Bovada-specific only bets. Oilers. And I don't like Evander Kane. He's one of my least favorite hockey players. But guess what? I like money. And I'm all right with betting him over here. But I'm not sure what my limits are going to be when it comes to Bovada. Plus 320 odds. Oh, they'll let me bet $100 on this. That's nice. That's really nice. All right, we're going to bet $100 on Kane. Cool. And then Dorofev. This is going to be a $100 wager. Let's come back to this. And it's what? Golden Knights and the Kraken. This is later tonight. We're talking about these late night games. These are actual player props or props over on Bovada. So $200 they'll let me do. That's nice. I'm gonna do another $100 here on Dorofev, or however you say this dude's name. Cool. Barbashev. I'm out of money right now on ESPN Bet, but Barbashev, as Biz likes to say, the human cigarette machine. Again, anything that's above plus 281, I'm in on. So again, you're going to see that Canby Sportsbooks, guys, you're going to have a really good time betting anytime goal scores over on Canby Sportsbooks. So if you can get this on Bet Rivers at 290, it's a lower edge play, right? And because we have so many options here today, guys, Tage Thompson, BetMGM, yeah, like that. Seth Jarvis, who cashed for me last game, I'm okay with this as well. Let's go over to Jarvis. $100 on the Flyers and the Hurricanes. Again, this MGM play, I'm all right with Tage Thompson. He's one of the best. He's like the best player on the Sabres. He's fantastic. So we're going to first look at Jarvis. OzGM's telling me to bet what, $100? Still fine with that. Okay, and so we're in on Jarvis. We got Austin Matthews over here. This is Hard Rock, and we got a lot going on, guys. So I'm doing a lot of sprinkles at the moment. So I'm going to come over here to Bovada because I'm already logged in, and we're going to hit up some different plays here with Austin Matthews. Hard Rock or Bovada when it comes to this. They're telling us to put $110 down. The reason, guys, that we're being recommended to bet more money on this play than Seth Jarvis is because we have a higher probability of hitting this, 46% chance compared to a 39% chance. Even though the EV edge is lower, we have a higher chance of hitting this play. So that's why we're being recommended. If you guys don't know who Austin Matthews is, if you guys don't follow hockey, he's like probably going to be the greatest American goal scorer of all time. I don't think that's too spicy of a take with Austin Matthews. Fun fact, he is a Scottsdale resident. I have ran into, I was at a restaurant 2 years ago and saw Austin Matthews. I was getting lunch with some friends. I didn't walk up or bother him, but it was definitely Austin Matthews. So I have seen him once or twice here in Scottsdale. Okay, Austin Matthews, nice. Nate Dogg, Lekanen. We're going to go over to BetMGM. We're going to get some plays in over here. What I will recommend, guys, if you are planning on live betting a little bit later, I'm not trying to make me blow through my entire BetMGM balance right now, betting anytime goal scores, but I would definitely want to make sure I get some action in. Okay, so Tage Thompson. So we're going to bet a lot of goal scorers, guys. The idea here is I'm trying to get volume down with goal scorers so that I can present to you guys after a week or two, like how it's going, so you can get in on the action, right? So coming over here to NHL, and we'll take a look at this. Irish DP, yeah, we'll definitely take a look at that, Irish. Let me grab these last couple of plays here, and then we'll take a look at that. So where's the Sabres game at? Here it is. And players. Any promos that we could use at right now? 20% bonus bet. Okay, cool. I want to get more down than that, but we'll get the Tage Thompson play. And then what else we got here? And then McKinnon, for sure. McKinnon and Lekanen, and I'll probably stop it there. Look at that. Kaprizov already moved, guys. Got it at plus 130. It's now at plus 120. 10 cents a CLV in our back pocket. You can grab Morgan Geekie as well. I'm pretty much staying for anything above 3%. So we'll grab McKinnon and we'll grab Lekanen and we'll go and then we'll move on. So this is going to be in the Avalanche game. Where are we at with the Avs? They're probably a later game. Stars and the Avs, yeah. All right, McKinnon at 135. Double check the odds, $100, and then we're looking at what? Lekanen at 240. Okay. For the Lekanen play, guys, it's having me bet $50. I'm just going to put my bonus bet on it instead. So we're just going to put the bonus bet on Lekanen. And there we go. Okay. Cool. So we'll throw this in. Bingo. And then Lekanen is going to be a bonus bet for $20. You can see how we can quickly rip through a bunch of bets. Does not take long. And there we go. Bet almost everyone other than Barbashev, which if I would have got it at Bally's bet, it would have been too low of an EV edge, below 3%. So I guess I should have took a look at Brady Tkachuk. Oh, actually, this Tkachuk plays fairly decent as well. If I can get this at 180, it's right on the edge. I like betting Brady Tkachuk, to be honest, but yeah, I'm fine with going after that one as well. All right, and then we'll take a look at this pick 6 for Irish. So as I'm going over to bet Brady Kachuk for like $60, let's take a look at the fantasy tool. And we can look at pick 6 on the EV tool, but we can also just look at this over here. So if it's college football Irish, what you're looking for, my friend, again, the reason that Irish is getting preferential treatment, it's not just because he's a loyal supporter. It's because he's a channel member. And if you're a channel member, guys, you get access to preferential treatment. Like, hey, when you ask, hey, man, can we look at some plays for this sport or this game? Yeah, we can, because you go above and beyond to support me. So you get to steer the stream in the direction that you want it to go. It's one of the biggest perks of being a channel member. Go on my YouTube homepage, guys. Go over to memberships, and you'll see I have 2 different offers. They're, in my opinion, quite affordable, but if you want to, right? So if you're like, dude, I really wanted to ask Billy for I want him to look at these plays. Let's go over to channel memberships. Take a look. Appreciate all the OGs and DGens. We had a couple new members join the family this past week, which was awesome. And so we're a growing family. All right, so I'm just over here on FanDuel grabbing this Brady Kachuk play. And in the meantime, if we're looking at some college football plays, what I would say is, again, we're looking at like rushing yards. These are the top 4 things. So there's a wide distribution when it comes to rushing yards. So 65.5 to 62.5 looks decent, but then we have to pay a little extra juice. So I'm not sure how I feel about this one, Irish. It's okay. This over 28.5, though, I definitely like this. I like this a little bit more. Books have this at 29, 31.5. I like the Faison play a bit more. I'm in on that one. Chambleese. Don't really like the Chambleese play. Don't really like that one. Reggie Virgil. Okay. Kind of splitting hairs here with these. Jacoby Williams, yeah, I don't know how I feel about that one. Don't know how I feel about that one. Because, yeah, we're already in the kickoff. We're definitely in the kickoff. Okay. Yeah, not the best. But, again, if you can grab Faison, if you can grab where is it? Maybe Taylon Green. I like that a little bit more. And then you could grab I'd say one of these guys, either the running back or the receiver, Virgil or Williams, in this Kansas-Texas Tech game. That'd be my 3 pick with the boost, assuming you can do 3 pick, unless it's 6 pick. Dan, what's going on? Yeah, no problem. No problem at all. Yeah, if you're looking at MLB, like the thing that I can't stand, and we mentioned this yesterday, guys, about they're not showing any MLB right now in pick 6. When you get to the MLB guys right now, just like WNBA yesterday, when you're boxed in, like there's one Major League Baseball game. So you really have to force some of these plays on the platform. So on a DraftKings pick 6 or a PrizePicks or Underdog, when Underdog's like, yo, there's an MLB boost today. It's like, yeah, there's one game, dude. There's one game. So normally that means it's advantageous to the sports books. Advantage sports books when all you have to do is when you have to pick a game that's today, right? So if I have to pick a game that is today, I don't like that. I don't like it at all. So if I go baseball and I go apply and it's the same thing, and if I got to go teams, right? Because we know we can't do this Mariners game. So I'd say Joey Ortiz. Okay, the boost helps it out, right? But you got to now take a bunch of players and you can only create like one type of slip and you have a limited amount of selections available to you. It's always going to be advantage sportsbook, even with a profit boost sometimes. So normally when we're in these types of situations where we can only pick, make one type of slip for one game, it's just garbage. I would not force those slips. I know it sucks saying goodbye to those profit boosts, but honestly, just protect your capital, man. Because I just don't, unless you want to bet your opinion and have some fun with it, okay. But if you're trying to find sharp plays, no, I'm not really looking to do that. It wouldn't be something I want to go after. Because you can see, like, there's no pinnacle odds for any of these. We talked about the Ortiz play. All right, with the boost on underdog, I can get behind that. Blake Perkins, okay. Maybe Matt Shaw. Like, okay, you could do this. Maybe Perkins, Shaw. So Shaw under bases. Perkins over bases. And then, who's the last dude? Joey Ortiz, over on bases. Right? I bet his under. You can bet his over with the boost. Right? So that's how I would do it. All right, guys. That's what I'm going to call it right now. I have a very busy Saturday ahead of me. So I got to shake, rattle, and roll. Tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. NFL player props. It's going to be only player props unless we find a crazy line or spread that moves in our direction. That's what we're going to be doing. Otherwise, guys, have a fantastic Saturday. And I'll talk to you guys mañana. Check out the new video I dropped on the channel about reversing your losing streak. Let me know what you think about it. Leave a comment, good or bad. Love yous, and I'll talk to you later.